ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः।
Dear friends, welcome back to the study of the Bhagavad Gita, the 7th chapter, and we have completed the study of the 23rd shloka, the 23rd verse. Up till now, Sri Krishna, who is an incarnation, please remember these catch points. He is an incarnation. And who is an incarnation? The Lord God of the universe, the Sagun Sakar Savikalpa Ishvara, He, the Parameshwara, He out of sheer compassion for His children, He decides to be born as a human, live amongst the human, and while his lifetime, he keeps on disseminating the loftiest, noblest spiritual ideas of how to go back to our Maker in heaven, how to find out our lost identity, oneness with the divine. This is the concept of an incarnation. And that concept is not a woolly-headed idea. The concept has been established and confirmed in historical personalities. Rama, Krishna, Abraham, Moses, Buddha, Christ, Shankara, Ramanuja, galaxies of them, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and ultimately we are here under the compassionate guidance of Sri Ramakrishna, Sharda Devi, and Vivekananda. Now, Sri Krishna is an incarnation. And whole of Sri Krishna's life is enumerated in the story of Mahabharata and the Bhagavatam. And it started from eyewitnesses' statements, and it has been handed down generation to generation till today who are standing now. Sri Krishna, in the 7th chapter, has enunciated the concept of how can intellectual knowing, jnana, can be converted into an intuitional experiencing. Jnana, that is knowing rationally. How can that rational knowledge be totally absorbed and saturated by us by transforming our being and to be one with God? That is an intuitional experience, aparoksha anubhuti, experiencing. How we can transform that rock-solid, crystal-clear conviction that God is. And He is not a woolly-headed idea. He can be experienced, perceived, and my life becomes transformed into a divine. Vijnana. So this chapter is known as Jnana Vijnana Yoga. So we must be alert. Let us use our robust common sense. We are not intellectual giants. We are not academicians. We are not philosophers. We are ordinary humans. And an ordinary human is bestowed with these four faculties: rationality, emotionality, ingenuity, and unstoppable determination. And all this gives rise to a sharp common sense, robust common sense. That's all that we have. Let us not think that we have to be an intellectual giant to be a spiritual person. No. These basic things, as Sri Ramakrishna used to say, very homely. If you want to commit suicide, a pin is good enough. You puncture it at your heart and you will die. But if you want to win a battle, you must know the art of weaponry. What weapon to use and how to use to slay your adversary. When you want to kill yourself, a paper pin is good enough. If you want to be a spiritual giant, you need not be an intellectual giant. But you must have a robust common sense and the capacity to reason out what is real and what appears to be real, which is basically unreal. That's all that you need to know. And Sri Krishna is mentioning that. He says, look, we are a product, as we are, a heap of unfulfilled desires because of our samskaras. And we have these desires. He says, if you want to desire, you desire. And I have 1,001 manifestations. Through those avenues, I ordain your desires will be fulfilled. Only have a common sense. Know it comes from the main source, channelized through that avenue. The main source is I am. You pursue your desire, you pursue different manifestations of the divine. I would not use the word Shudra Devata or lesser gods. All of them are the same. Sri Ramakrishna would not have approved of it. Manifestations of that divine source through infinite avenues. Each avenue is competent enough to fulfill some aspects of your desire. You worship them. While worshipping them, while trying to fulfill your desires, be very alert. Always remember, it is coming through me. We have read up to the 23rd verse, shloka, and we have not spared ourselves. We have tried to understand it from various perspectives. In the 23rd shloka, he gives us a catch. What is that catch? Let me read that line and you will understand. The last line of the 23rd verse. Devan deva jajo yanti mad bhakta janti mamapi. What does it mean? If you are concentrating on that different avenue through which I am available to you to fulfill your desires, what are you doing? you are concentrating on that partial aspect of mind. You are not coming to me as I am in totality. You are worshipping, you are praying, you are following all the disciplines, niyata prakritya saya, being guided by your own sanskaras. You are stopping at a particular aspect of my manifestation. There you merge. But if you think of me in totality and try to identify yourself with me, then you will come to me direct. You will not stop there in that avenue of my manifestation, Deva. You will come to me direct. Now you think, what are you doing? Let us give a very, very concrete, tangible, worldly example. You have saved some money by the hard work, by the sweat of your brow. You want to utilize that. Money should bring back money at home. So you are told you must invest. When you invest, what is your assessment? It must be secure and it must give me the best return. Best return, maximum return without compromising security. Now here, in spiritual life, what is your investment? Your whole span of life, with all that energy and that you generate, and you are concentrating on an aspect of the divine, knowing full well it is not the divine in totality, it's an aspect, and I'm stuck there. You are investing your life, your lifespan, your energies, your all achievements to achieve that. And what you get in return? Antabantu phalam tesham, the first line. The phalam, the result of your activity is antabantu. It is perishable. It was not there. You created by your hard tapasya and you get it. As because it is created, in point of time it will disappear. Whereas you're investing your whole life. Why don't you, instead of going through those avenues of my various manifestations, why don't you directly come to me? This is the last catch that he tells you. You are investing in your time and energy and your life to fulfill your unfulfilled desires. Please do so. Keep in mind that this avenue of fulfilling my desire, this concept of Godhead, is nothing else but a manifestation of the ultimate divine. Without that, you are doing something which is absolutely perishable. At least keep a link that this avenue gets its blessings to you as ordained by me. Let my presence be uppermost in your life. If not, why don't you directly come to me and be one with me? the result is not perishable. You are with me all the time. Whereas here, your results of your hard work will dissipate one day and will perish in time. It comes up in time, it stays in time, it dissolves in time. That is what time is. Why don't you come to me direct? So this suggestion he tells you. Now we move to the 24th shloka. When we understand the 23rd shloka, I think, well, what Sri Krishna is saying has some sense. What he is saying has some sense. And why is it that I am not inclined to do so? We are sincere, serious people. We are aspirants of truth, reality. That is taken for granted. That is what we are. Having listened to it, that Sri Krishna is advising us to involve ourselves and with all our capacities, qualities and faculties to involve ourselves with him. And he tells us that if we do so, the result is eternal. I understand what he says, but how is it that I keep on forgetting? How is it? Why so? That I keep on forgetting and I keep on chasing after my desires? Why so? He answers to this question of yours. Let me read the shloka for you. Abhyaktam bhaktim apanyam manyante mam abuddhayah param bhavam ajananto mama abhyayam anuttamam mama anuttamam abhyayam param bhavam ajananta. This is the paraphrase of the last line. Why do they make this mistake? Because abhyaktam bhakti mahapanya manyante mam abuddhaya. Abuddhaya means buddhi is intelligence. Buddhiman is a man of intelligence. Abuddhaya means a person who has been told many a times, but because of his lack of understanding, he does not understand. What does he not understand? He takes Krishna as an ordinary human being. Let me go back to the Mahabharata and you will understand. I'll give you two incidents. Shishupala was, I would say, from physical relationship, Sri Krishna's nephew. Agreed? Somehow or other, though he saw many of the excellent manifestations of the divinity in the form of Krishna, Sri Krishna, who is that absolute, immutable, the ultimate divine, the Parameshwara, who has, for the welfare of his children, has taken a human form. Some of them knew it. And some of them, in spite of being told, in spite of seeing, never took him as God incarnate. He says he's a son of a milkman, the lowest level of strata. Not a Brahmana, not a Kshatriya, is a milkman. Shishupala was of that type. Though he lived in that age, he lived with him. Not only Shishupala, there were millions who took Krishna as an ordinary human being. But Bhishma Pitamaha, Yudhishthira, Arjuna, when he saw the magnificence of Krishna's personality through the incident of Shanti Parva, in that chapter of Gita when the war was starting, that is why we have got this Gita. Sri Krishna understood and said, I have left totally under your care, dear. You better look after me. And the Gita comes to an end. You will read that shloka at the last stage. So, though Krishna is the divine incarnation, as because he is behaved like a normal human being, along with the normal humans around him, people do not understand in reality who is Krishna. Why so? He will, in the next two shlokas, he will explain to you. He is coming to a conclusion now. We are now on the 24th and the 25th shloka. There are 4 more shlokas. He is now concluding. Firstly, he theoretically, fundamentally tells you a fact of life. Abuddhaya viktihi mam anuttamam abhyayam abhyaktam viktim apanyam. This is how it is to be understood. A person who has not developed that vision to see the divine unimpaired in me, they have not developed that wisdom. So, they take me as a normal human being with faults and failures, with frailties and follies. And they interact me with in that manner. Why do they do so? Because though I have been expressing myself, though I have displayed my divinity many a times, in spite of that, they are not in a position to understand that untarnished, undiminished divinity is manifesting through this human form of Vasudeva Putra, Vasudeva Krishna. They don't realize my true original nature. In return, they impose basic human faults and failures, frolics and follies onto me. And they look at me as a normal human being. That is the mistake that they commit. Let me read the shloka word to word and paraphrase it for you. Abuddhaya Vikti, people who are not that sharp in understanding. Where is the lack of sharpness? The lack of sharpness is, in spite of being told, in spite of seeing the divine manifestation occasionally in Sri Krishna, they don't understand me. Abuddhaya. They don't understand me. Who am I? Abhyaktam Vyaktim Apanya Manyante Mam Abuddhaya. Abuddhaya Mam Vyaktim Manyate Apadyam. They impose on me the humanness which is not what I am. I am the divine. Let me clarify again for your understanding. A person who is not so sharp, not so understanding, he has heard many a times about the concept of Avataravad, the concept of incarnation of God as a human in human society. They have heard many a times. It does not have any impact on their understanding. A. Not only that, they impose human frailties and follies on me. They treat me just like them. Ordinary human. They do not know Mama Abhyayam Anuttamam Param Bhavam Ajanantam. My immutability, my super excellence, there's nothing beyond the excellence that I have, and sublime existence, Param Bhavam. I am the sublime, the supreme. There is nothing which can excel beyond me. That is what I am, but I am contained in a human body and a form. Without human frailties, totally saturated, totally permeated by divine qualities. People of lesser intelligence do not understand me. Why so? Why so? You are describing to me that we do not understand you. Why do we not understand you? He had to admit it is he who covers our sights so that I don't see him thoroughly, perfectly, correctly, properly. Let us read the 24th shloka. And these two shlokas must be read conjointly. Naham prakasha sarvasya yoga maya samabritaha mulo ayam nabhijanati loka mam ajam abhyayam. He now admits. What does he say? I do not. Na aham. I do not, prakasha, manifest my glory to each and every one. And I cover myself by that famous word, yoga maya samabrita. Avatar Purusha Sri Krishna is saying, I do not expose myself, I do not manifest myself to each and every one of you. Why? How? I cover myself up with Parashakti, Avidya Shakti, Maya Shakti. I cover myself up. Therefore, people do not understand my nature. Shishupal, my nephew, my sister's son, tells me, you are a milkman's son. That's what you are. You may be my Kamsa, you may be my maternal uncle, but I treat you as a trash. I'm more powerful than you. That is what the story of Kamsa, one of the figures of Mahabharata is. Shishupala, one of the figures of Mahabharata is. And there are beautiful examples, but I will not deviate. When an avatar is born, a very few know beforehand he is to be born, he is to be born there, and this is what his life pattern would be. And they are his avenues of propagation, the subtle ideas of spiritual wisdom. So the shloka number 23 and 24 should be read together. And that is how we will understand. To understand and appreciate Sri Krishna as he is, we have to behave, discipline, organize ourselves in such a manner that Yoga Maya is withdrawn from us by his compassionate grace. We should earn that compassionate grace from the avatar. Whether it's Ramachandra, whether it's Krishna or Christ or Jesus or etc., we are not bothered. We should understand what is the import of this verse. What is Sri Krishna driving at? So let us read the 23rd and the 24th shloka in great detail so that we understand what we have to do to earn that graceful compassion or that compassionate grace from the divine, so that Yoga Maya is withdrawn from our view. We can see that human form of Krishna, nothing but the divine in a human form, untainted, unpolluted, uncompartmented in totality. Na aham prakasham sarvasya, the first quarter of the 24th sloka. Sarvasya, to all and sundry. Aham na prakasham. I do not manifest myself from all and sundry. I keep myself concealed from them. How do I conceal? I take away the divine view from them. I don't give it to them. They have to earn it from me by the sweat of their brow. As simple as that. And that is why sadhana, discipline, this has come into play. To qualify myself for the compassionate grace and mercy of the divine so that my eyesight is clear and I see the thing in itself. I see the human form, but I know contained in that human form is the divine in totality. And that is why Avatarvada, the concept of incarnation of divine in a human form, is so prevalent in all religions. Each religion, either they're impersonal or they're personal. Vedanta and Veda starts from personal, takes you to impersonal. The others stay in personal level. That is the excellence of Veda Anta. the sublime, the climax of this pursuit. Through the dualistic approach, I go through non-dualistic approach, qualified dualism, and ultimately into monism, which is experienceable, not describable. So, let us read it now. Aham sarvasya na prakasha. I do not manifest myself to all and sundry, because I keep myself enveloped in Yoga Maya. To those people I give the eyesight, they penetrate through and see me. Those people who do not enjoy that eyesight, that state of vision which is bestowed on them by me, they can penetrate through the veil and see me in totality. Either I surround myself with that, or I surround your vision with that, whichever way you look at it. Therefore, Mura ayam nabhijanati. Mura means a confused thinker. He has the capacity to think, but he does not know how to put that thinking on rails. Mura ayam na abhijanati. He does not know in itself. What is that? Mam ajam abhyayam. In this world I have arrived and I am ajam, birthless, abhyayam, immutable. I am everlasting. Because of my capacity to cloud your vision, or I encircle myself with my Maya, Brahma Achadani Shakti. That is the typical scriptural word. Brahma Achadini Shakti. Brahman Achadini. Achada means to cover up. And that is a positive power. Avidya Shakti, Ajnana Shakti, Maya Shakti. It is a vibrant, thorough power. Living, vibrating power. Palpable. I cover myself, that is why you don't see me, or I cover your views, that is you don't see me. I am what I am. And people are confused, therefore they do not see me. So there is something here which I would like to draw your attention to some of the incidents of Sri Ramakrishna's life. We say these ideas are 5,000-6,000 years old. Who knows, who claims its authenticity? We can only say it is traditional. I will quote you some incidents in Sri Ramakrishna's life happening about 150 years ago or 145 years ago. As close to history as that, as close to our life as that. He says, Abhyaktam Vyaktim Apanya Manyate Mam Abuddhaya. Abuddhaya Vyakti, a person who does not have that sharp, clear-cut intelligence to penetrate through and see me in totality in a human form. We can imagine he is absolute, immutable, not describable, and this and all words. But here is divine in human form. Some of them, because of their past, because of their achievement, because of God's grace, they identify themselves. And some of them do not. We have quoted two incidents of Shishupal and Kangsha from here, and Bhishma and Yudhishthira and Arjuna from the Mahabharata. Why stay there? Come to this present day life and see whether we have any such parallel incident in Sri Ramakrishna's life. He himself announced openly that he who was born as Rama, he who was born as Krishna, he has come to in this human form known as Ramakrishna. And Narendranath's last lingering hesitancy disappeared because of this assertion from the mouths and words of the incarnation himself. All this incident is a method of educating the posterity like us. Sri Ramakrishna, in his own words, told Narendranath that. Narendranath did not know the role he had to play. He was totally concerned of his own mukti and bhakti. And Sri Ramakrishna kept on hammering at him. To what extent? Fie on you! I never thought you are such a mean-minded person. Hina buddhi, devoid of intelligence. Why? I thought your goal of life would be like a huge banyan tree. Thousands of birds will feel safe to build their nest in your branches. You will be a shelter to them, and your shade, thick shade, will give the passers-by a little relief from intense sun. They will sit under you and they get back their vigor and energy. That should be your goal. And you are so mean-minded, so small, so petty, you only want to enjoy yourself. You are born for the betterment of human society. This was the hammering that Narendranath used to have from Sri Ramakrishna. And Narendranath was built up by Sri Ramakrishna as an ideal human being who is both a spiritual giant, and he teaches us how to live in this world, converting our life into a karma yogi. This is what is between Ramakrishna and Vivekananda. Now let us come to devotees, non-monastic devotees. Girish Ghosh, a dramatist who is supposed to be the father of drama in Bengal, he came in touch with Sri Ramakrishna. He was a turbulent person, drinking, womanizing, this and that, but he was a par excellence dramatist. And some or other, he knew Ramakrishna who he is. It is said Shiva had his Vaidavas, Girish Ghosh is Sri Ramakrishna's Vaidava. Whatever it is, Girish Ghosh, at the latter part of Sri Ramakrishna's life, kept on saying openly, Sri Ramakrishna is an incarnation of the divine. I can say so. I have tested him through 1,000 manners, and I would not deviate from how he tested Sri Ramakrishna in how many ways. It's for you to read the biographies. He used to propagate. One day, in an assembly, Sri Ramakrishna wanted Girish to speak up. So he said, Girish, people tell me you are saying such things which are unbelievable about me, that I am God incarnate. Why do you say so? You shouldn't do that. And Girish Ghosh now, to teach us a lesson, replies, Sir, how could I do that? Vyasadeva, the author of Mahabharata, tried his best, he could not convince people. Valmiki tried his best in Ramayana, the biography of Ramachandra, to establish Rama. They were critics. Who am I to tell you who you are? You are in yourself what you are. And he pranam to him. A handful of flowers, and the whole audience was wonderstruck, looking at Sri Ramakrishna is in his divine ecstatic mood. And finally, for all of us, he used 3 words. In a satsang, the satsang was about Avataravad, divine in human form. He said, Ami Achi, I exist, I am the eternal absolute. After a while, he says, Ami Hoechi, I have become Parameshwara, Saguna Brahma, Swamaya Adhik Bashikrityam. He has total control on his Maya Shakti, Parameshwara. I am Amiyachi, Nirgun, Nirakar, Nirvikalpa Brahma Bhumi, Ami Hoechi, Parameshwara Bhumi. Ami Eshechi, I have arrived in this world, Avatara Bhumi. It hardly happened 150 or a few 100 years ago, 130 to 140 years ago. Mura ayam nabhi janati. Those who have this clouded vision, primarily I see the human, not the divine in a human body. I have a clouded vision. Mura aham, ayam nabhijanati. He does not understand this principle of Avatarvada, which is a fact of history as late as that. Mam ajam abhyayam anuttamam. I am unexcellable. I am the absolute. There's nothing beyond me. Mura nabhi janati. Why they are mura? Because I do not want everyone should know me. Let the effort to know me remain in my children, and let them earn it by the sweat of their brow. I am there for compassionate grace. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, you come one step towards me, and I will walk down 99 steps towards you. You come one step towards me, I will walk down 99 steps towards you. He is so gracious. He's so compassionate, and we are very intelligent people. We say, sir, if you can walk 99 steps, why don't you walk 100 steps? Let me sit where I am. You will not be able to enjoy the fruits of your hard work. If it comes to you, uncalled for, unasked for, you will not give it any credit, any what. I will tell you a worldly incident. Unpaid for things do not have any value. There was a severe flooding in North Bihar, and I was in the team of relief workers, and my responsibility was to provide medicines to them to avoid cholera, avoid intestinal dysentery, and avoid malaria. It was freely distributed, and I gave them a handful. I used to go to them every week. That was a rotation. After a week, when I go to them, I found one of them was suffering from malaria. I gave you that medicine. Why don't you use it? Oh, I must have left it somewhere. Hello, that was quinine for you. It would have immediately helped you. Is it quinine? Oh, I remember. I bought a file of quinine from post office for 1 paisa. He once happened to go to the post office, and the postmaster told him that pay a paisa more, get a file of quinine tablets, keep it with you. It will do you good. It is an for antidote of malaria. He paid 1 paisa for it, 1 cent, and he kept it very carefully in a niche. And the handful of medicine which was worth so much, he doesn't know where it is, because it came free to him. And he paid a pence for it. This is what we are. If God comes in front of you and says, what is this, what is this? You say, who are you? You better go, leave me alone. Because you have not worked hard to get him. Unpaid things do not have any value. Tapasya has to be performed. And he is prepared to walk 99 steps towards you, provided you walk 1. But you have to play your role in this journey to meet your Maker in heaven. You have to walk that walk to meet your Maker in heaven. That is your part of the discipline. So these 2 shlokas, dear, these 2 shlokas tell you why is it that with all our so-called human intelligence, we are unable to assess the divine personality of an incarnation in a human body. An inbuilt answer is try to get rid of that yoga maya which is wrapping your vision, or yoga maya which is wrapping in the presence of an incarnation in this human society. So dears, let me read this shloka and call it a day. Na aham prakasham sarvasya. I do not intentionally manifest myself to all and sundry. He says that. And how does he do so? Yoga maya samabrita. I envelop myself in that Shakti, that force known as Maya Shakti, or Jnana Shakti, Avidya Shakti. I encircle myself. And because of that, Mudha, not that sharpened intellect to pierce through the Maya Shakti. Mam na avijanati. They do not know me. And who am I? I am Ajam, Abhyayam, and in the previous shloka he has said, Anuttamam, par excellence. There is no excellence beyond that. That is what I am. The moral of these two shloka is, you have to work hard to get rid of that Maya Shakti. This is how these two shlokas are to be studied. And then he gives you certain qualities of an incarnation when he is here in this world, which is palpably understandable. And he gives you a catch. What is that? Let me read quickly the shloka number 26. He says, the distinction between you, a human being, Arjuna, very enlightened, very etc., 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 all that positive side is with you. And here am I. What is the distinction between you and me? Veda aham sam atitani. All the past, since the dawn of creation, I know everything. Vartamanani cha Arjuna. And all that is happening in every nook and corner of the globe, I know that. I also know what is going to happen in the future till the end of this cosmos. I know everything. Unfortunately, you are not capable of knowing this. What does it mean? While living with an avatara, if you keep your eyes and ears open, you will find, unknown to himself, sparks of divinity flowing. You must have the eyes to see it. Veda aham sama atitani vartamanani cha Arjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu veda na kashana. I do understand and know, you can't. People living close to an avatara, they hear such statements. They see some behavior pattern. If they are intelligent enough, if they're clean at heart enough, you can see the spark of divinity manifesting there. That is why, dear, the study of their biography in detail, study of their gospel in detail is advised. Through that, you can see the personality, the flashes of divinity in that person, in their statement, in their behavior pattern. This is what he is trying to teach you. Though Sri Krishna is dead and gone in a human form, but this teaching of the Bhagavad Gita, the teachings of Bhagavatam, remains forever and ever and ever. So he is coming to a conclusion of this chapter. So he is also concluding this theory, that you first be a jnani, get into the discipline of feeling the presence of the divine every moment of your life while interacting in this world, as well as when you are meditating in isolation, dhyana marga and karma marga. There should be no let, no hindrance, no break. If you can do so, you will be aware of the presence of the divine, and more you concentrate on it, more you will, the process of being and becoming, process of what you think, so you become. Jadrishi bhavana jasya siddhir bhavati tadrishi. He had said it before, or he'll say it later on. Whatever is your idea, your goal, you will reach that goal by following these instructions. So, dears, we will start on the 26th shloka and see how long it takes to complete the 7th chapter. There are 4 more shlokas left. Thank you, dears. Thank you ever so much.
Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.